kick this out again?
You want to give it a couple seconds.
I'm waiting. Yeah. If somebody, maybe Joe from up over there.
Do you
Joe.
want to join your phone?
Oh,
We can try. Did you send it to me?
Yeah, send it basically.
Should I use the Wi-Fi or try to go no Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi is good for you, then I'm well, let's just settle on some. I don't want to sit on a static page too long.
yep. Looks like we're in again. It's taking us back in.
Do I allow Mike and Cam access? Do I add?
Yeah, you can, but you don't have to.
All right, we're back in. Okay. Oh,
That doesn't have.
Word. Okay.
Welcome to Cage Titan.
Because for whatever reason, it seems to be working.
welcome to Plymouth Memorial Hall and the official Cage Titans 51 pre-show. I am your host, Igdalia Medina, joined by Cage Titans Hall of Famer Johnny Cupcakes.
Thank you, Igdalia. Yes, tonight we have some very exciting matchups. Some debuting fighters at the bottom of the card and some of our experienced veteran fighters at the top.
Kicking off the action tonight, we are starting in the kickboxing Muay Thai ranks as decorated striker Mike Albert pulls on the big gloves for the first time when he takes on, by short notice replacement, Avery Andrews.
Super exciting matchup. I'm very excited to see us kicking off with a Muay Thai fight, especially with these two very athletic gentlemen. Andrews looks very fit and very, very strong going into this matchup. His physicality is super impressive. I think he has 8 abdominal muscles, which is not an easy thing to do. And he's rocking it quite well. And then Albert, super experienced and just very tricky, very crafty fighter. He unleashes a ton of different types of techniques. So very excited for that matchup.
Yeah, me too. Both of them are actually, not only are they physically fit, but they're mentally prepared for this fight, which is another big thing that people kind of neglect for fighters, is if they're mentally prepared for it. And I saw them yesterday and they are ready.
Yeah, Albert is such a great character. He was wearing a Dare shirt yesterday to keep kids off of drugs. He just has he's a true martial artist, and it's always a treat to see him go to work inside the cage and the ring.
Yeah, we have some other great fighters that are going to be happening, which is McDonald and Timberlake.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this fight. McDonald being one of my personal training partners. I know quite a bit about Chris. He's had a couple of fights inside the Cage Titans cage already. Man, he's going against a very tough, gritty individual in Telemik. So, it's going to be extremely interesting to see how these two approach the fight. It's going to be very interesting. First minute or so could be very heated right off the bat. So I'm very excited for this one as well.
We also have Costello and Tucker.
Yeah, another guy, Costello out of South Shore Sport Fighting, and fighting another fellow from that same gym, Go USFC, from out of New York. A very, very tough school. They take fights on short notice. They come in rolling deep with their team all together as a pack. They really almost have like a cult mentality with their team. They're very, very close knit and tight. So it's very interesting to see them come in and be fighting so many of the local guys here. What do you think, like having that local advantage, that crowd in the background rooting for you? How much do you think that is going to play into those fights?
I think it does play a big part, because depending on how focused they are and how their mental state is, like it gives them that drive to keep going and keep pushing forward. Because a lot of sometimes when you come from far, you have another fighter who's coming from New York. Yep. They don't have that. They don't have the support that we have when we see our local fighters fighting. So that does play a very important part in these fighters.
Like when Joe Penafiel originally came in against Pat Gilbride and everyone was booing at him and everything like that. It's such an interesting thing. And now Joe has won over the crowd and he's like a hometown guy. It's wild how some people are able to do that. So we'll see if those guys from New York are able to kind of get under the skin of the locals here and maybe gain some fans of their own.
Yeah, just like another great fight that we're going to be having is Danny Wahlberg and Phil. I don't even know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Losigno. Yeah.
Losigno.
Right.
He had his last fight on Cage Titans 50, and now he's back and he's ready to take control and get that win. And
he looks fantastic. Phil, even for a fighter, all fighters are in great shape, but Phil looks like he is on a different level as far as fitness. I mean, he's probably at 1% body fat. You can see every single muscle in his body. You can just tell that he's living the life of a fighter right now. And Danny Wahlberg coming from US MMA, you know that he's training with killers at US MMA. So that fight could really be one of those fight of the night type of sleeper fights where people might not even recognize how great this fight is. 0-1 versus 0-0. You might think, oh, it's not great, but this is going to be incredible. I guarantee that.
Yeah. I mean, you have to look at the school they come from.
Yeah.
Because all these fighters are training really hard. And even though this is his debut for Danny Wahlberg, when he was here and yesterday, he was definitely showing how, focused he was and how determined he was to get that win. And it was just like, no, go. Like he's ready for it.
He looked really good too. Big fellow. Yeah. Phil is quite a bit shorter. I'd say several inches shorter than Danny. So Danny will be having some sort of reach advantage, I almost guarantee. But Losigno is just, I'm blanking on who he fought at last Cage Titans, but it was a banger to say the least. They just went out there and laid it on the line. So I know that we'll see something similar from him, guaranteed.
Yeah. You know, we also have another amazing fight with Brandon Damora and Carlos Vespasiano.
Yes.
Two people coming from two different, obviously different gyms that are dedicated to make these fighters. You know what I mean? They work hard, they train hard, they have the backing from their coaches.
Some of the best coaches really in the area, both Team Soulless with Chris, UFC fighter coming from, you know, he was learning from under a former UFC fighter where was he where was Chris training out of originally? And
He was with the Rack. He was with BST.
Yep. And
yeah.
Jorge Rivera, thank you so much.
The UFC,
yeah, just I mean, he's had so many phenomenal coaches behind him, and then with Loco Lobo, he came up with teams like Junico and City of Tong, Black Belt. So we have these two fantastic squads that are kind of have been birthed from other fantastic teams, and now they're producing these high-level fighters. These two, Brandon Damora and Carlos, we were talking about it beforehand. Definitely fight of the night potential here, without a doubt.
Yep.
Damora is just such a stud, so young and hungry, and just a fantastic fighter, so talented. And Vespasiano is just a gritty, tough fighter. I think he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and he comes to win fights. So super excited for that fight.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at them, if you've never seen either one of them fight, you may wonder, you might question it, because you don't understand, like, that's their style. They're in their zone. They're very focused. They know what they want there. They're going to go get it. So they're not really too focused on what's going on around them. They're more focused on their game plan, what they've been training for their camp, and ready to execute it.
And that comes from having such great coaching, because that is really a mindset that not many people have. So to have such great backing and coaching, that helps you stay focused and keeps you on the task. Like, it's very easy to get, you go out there as an amateur, you look around, there's ring girls, there's 1,000 people in the audience. In Cage Titans, we have cameras and lights and social media people are all over the place. So for them to just lock in and be fighting at the biggest promotion around is super impressive. And then to be on this card where, I mean, they could, winner here could be moving on to a title shot in the very near future. Most definitely.
Sure. And this is the first fight of the year for Cage Titans. So, I mean, what a way to start it off. Yeah.
Right. Seriously. And then moving on. So next up, we have two ladies that'll be fighting.
Yeah, we have Anna Crutchfield and Erin Johnson, two great female fighters that have a great backing as far as combat sports training. I mean, we have Anna, who has over 100 boxing and kickboxing matches in her amateur career.
That's amazing.
I mean, off a first round knockout.
And you would never know, you would not know that necessarily looking at her. It seems like a lovely young lady, and she's just bashing people's brains in for fun. So it's super impressive. But then you got War Baby, Erin Johnson. Like, could you have a more fitting name? War Baby. She embraces it very much. You can tell when she goes in there, it is war for her, and she's just thrives in it. So we have electricity in this fight for sure. So experience and hunger from both females. But it's hard to really call. That could also be fight of the night without a doubt. So I feel like right here in this, in the middle of the card, it's like 3 fights in a row, if not more, if not 4 fights that could be fight of the night. So these people are going to be competing with not only an opponent in the cage, but they're competing with each other, probably for some virality. Maybe if they, everybody wants a viral finish where you can, Dana White sees it just at the right time on Instagram. He might be calling up, War Baby or Damora, who knows, to be setting up some kind of big future contract. So, these are some incredible fights.
They are. I mean, these two female fighters, they have a great foundation. We have you know, as we said, Anna has her boxing. She wrestled in high school. You have Erin, who is training at Hard Knocks for her Muay Thai under Jake Manini, which is another great coach.
Coaches UFC fighters.
Exactly. So, I mean, we are really going to see a great fight. It could go all 3 rounds, or it, you know, could finish at any moment. So we really, really got to pay attention to see what's going to happen.
And then, like you said, we look at their gym and you see Erin from Lausanne MMA, who has, you know, we have other Lausanne MMA, Andrew Valdina down the card. And then we have SBG Alabama for Anna. And right down the card, you see Arthur Mopofu also from SBG. So these are coming from top tier gyms who are producing killers. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled when these folks get in the cage, because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and we have another great fight coming up, which is Mike Taylor from Brojo, and we have Jeff Joy from Loco Lobo.
With two fantastic fights. Like Mike Taylor, again, he looked huge at the weigh-ins. This is my weight class. I fight in this area, 135, 140, and Mike Taylor is a large guy for that weight. So I'm super excited to see him get after it. And Jeff Joy is just a killer, stone-faced killer he is.
Yeah, and they're both ready. They are both ready to put on a show and get that win.
Yes, and again, both of them, we got Jeff Joy undefeated. With a win here, you're looking at you see people off to the UFC at 4-0. It happens. So for him to be in this position this far down the card, 2-0, potentially 3-0, we could see a very exciting future for him. And then Mike Taylor, all he fights is killers. Yeah. That's the only people it seems that he fights. And if he's able to turn some of these into wins against a Jeff Joy, before you know it, he could be another party, and he could be, spoiling it for the home guy and then making his way to the UFC as well. So we just have some high level action happening tonight.
We do. We have high level action happening that's going to be going down tonight. And one thing that we need to also notice is that their record doesn't reflect their skill set. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, Taylor fights killers, and that's what we're going to see tonight.
And Jeff Joy was an amateur title challenger or holder. Holder. He won. So he's had several more fights even than that 2-0. Yeah. So we know that their experience is
exactly.
So the Cage Titans is just creating such an incredible environment of high level fighters, and it's just with every event, the amateurs are better and the pros are that much closer to the next level. It's super impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and it has to do with the balance. Not only is it about the fighters, but it's about the promotion, providing the ability for these fighters to actually grow and perform what they want. Because if they don't have the right support and the right guidance to actually feel the ability to succeed, that's going to be something that interferes with their mindset.
Facts. Yeah, you can't grow bigger than your cage or your tank or what have you. So it's so super important, and that's what guys like our producer over here, Brian Gearson, and the media team, and it's unbelievable support that Cage Titans gets to be able to grow and blossom like that. So we're lucky to be here doing what we're doing. Yeah,
we also have another amazing amateur title fight that's going to be happening tonight with Arthur and Valdina.
Yeah, true. So this will be our main card, starting with our title fight with Mopofu and Valdina for the 135-pound amateur title. Sure. We're gonna see some highlight reel weigh-ins from some action from the weigh-ins yesterday. We'll kick it off right now.
134 for Arthur Mopofu. Next up to the scale, his opponent, Andrew Valdina.
Let's go!
134 for Andrew Valdina.
All right. No, I know, but I want you guys in the center.
I'm not touching him right now.
All right, cool.
Back up a little bit.
One day. One more night. You're going to sleep.
5,
Sleep, baby.
3,
You're going to sleep.
2,
One more night. It's all
6.
You gotta
You guys ready?
choke you out.
Right.
Red right here.
Okay, one more second. One more
Right
second.
chin across
All
that
right, here we
fucking
go.
mouth.
All right, here we go.
Voy al lapa.
Here we go. Arthur Mopofu versus Andrew Valdina for the vacant Amateur Cage Titans Bantamweight Championship.
All right.
This fight. Okay, yeah, Valdina Mopofu, a little bit of tension at the weigh-ins, some more maybe than we expected. Valdina's a very confident individual, and Mopofu is very matter of fact. So we got a little bit of a clash of personalities.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, anybody, you excited for this matchup? If for anything specific that might go down, or are you excited just to see these two scrap? Or yeah,
I'm
what do you
excited
got
to
for
see
me?
these two. I mean, we've seen Valdina fight, and we've seen Arthur fight. And at the presser, you saw like a completely different. We've seen a completely different side of both fighters. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yes.
normally you see them calm but for this reason, I don't know if it's just because there's the titles on the line.
Could be.
Mopofu wanna get his title back.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, there's a lot. But even though he showed a side of him that we normally don't see, he was still very focused and very on point on what he wanted to do and what he wants to get accomplished for this fight.
Most definitely. He feels very confident in his squad and his team. I mean, he introduced me to everyone, and he's extremely comfortable and happy right now. And like you said, the mental part, it's so important that these fighters are in a good mental state for this fight. Valdina is as strong mentally, it appears, as anyone I've ever seen.
Yes.
He feels super confident that he is going to beat Mopofu in a very decisive fashion. Well, as we know, Mopofu is a very, very difficult person to fight. He is extremely technical and high fight IQ. If he needs to win the fight in a certain way, he will fight that way to win. And I feel that we're going to really see who these gentlemen are and when they get in that cage against each other, because it's such a great matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, how do you think it's gonna this is gonna play out? Do you think it's gonna end, or is it gonna go all 5 rounds? Because these two have been focusing on their technique, they've been focusing on their style, they've seen each other fight before in the cage, so they've already seen kind of their weaknesses, how their strengths. Do you think, or what is it that you think is going to happen between these two in this particular time?
It's going to be very, very fascinating, I think, because Valdina, who we've seen have very, very crisp striking as of recently. We talked, he has a very strong base in wrestling.
Yes.
That being said, when Arthur fought Daniel Pena, he utilized a very, very good clinch game and grinded that fight out and kind of took Daniel away from his strength. So this fight is going to be kind of a toss-up in a way. I think whoever starts to lead the fight will take it over more and more as the fight goes on. But don't be surprised if it ends like that as well, because both gentlemen are very, very diverse and unpredictable in a lot of ways. So what would you rather see? Would you rather see these two fight it out on the feet, or would you like to see a grappling kind of technical battle?
I would like each of them to use their strengths. Not go by what the other person's doing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you go in there with your game plan. This is my camp. This is what I've studied. But but this one's doing this thing. If they keep their own game plan and they give it their all and just not move from it, I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see them both standing, giving it their all, and doing what they do best.
We definitely we're going to, because they're both just such professionals, really. They're both amateurs as of on this paper. They're amateurs, but in there, the way they carry themselves, they are professionals. And that kind of harkens back to who's coaching them. They're both from such high level programs that it's not surprising that they would be carrying themselves this way. So we could be very well seeing some of the best future professionals in the sport right here during that fight. So everybody keep your eyes on that fight. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Coming up, we have an interview with Arthur Mapofo.
What I can expect for Saturday night is it's going to be a show. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. I'm excited to be back home, fighting in front of my friends, my family. Like, I fucking love you guys. Let's fucking go. This shit's going to be lit. Let's go. And what to expect. And after this, I'm not sure. Just keep going with it. Stay tuned for what's going to happen next. To be continued.
What did you think about that interview where he was like, you know what, to be continued, I'm not going to give you all the information I have?
I know. Well, he's very matter of fact. He's not going to play games or anything like that. He's just, this is what I'm going to do. This is how much information I'm giving you, and, no more. So I really like that about Arthur. I think he's a good person, and I really respect him very much. So I'm excited to see him back around here fighting for his title,
Yeah. We also were able to talk with Andrew Valdina, and he gave us his input on what are we going to be expecting from him during this fight.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Andrew Valdina. I'm fighting for the 135-pound title tomorrow night for Cage Titans. What you can expect to see in my fight, once again, it's a high-paced fight from bell to bell. Like the last fight that I had against Randy Francis, this next one is my hardest fight to date. But I think that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, if you keep winning, you want to keep climbing that ladder, and each fight should be the next hard one, especially in the amateur division. So this next fight, tomorrow night, I'm going to be the first person to sleep Arthur Mapofo. Whether it's with a right hand, a right high kick, a fucking rear naked choke, a guillotine, he's going to sleep. I promise you guys that. It's going to be a banger, and I can't wait. After this fight, if all goes according to plan, and I get the belt, I'd like to fight for the 145-pound belt right after, be the champ, or I'll defend it. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do next. By the end of 2022, I'd like to be pro and just keep going for where I've been going from here too, with the professional ranks, make it to the UFC, make it Big Ten.
So did you see that? I mean, Valdina was on point and direct with what he wanted to get done for this fight. There's no joking around with Arthur. He wants it, and he's going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, Valdina is a killer. He seems like he is very, very, very focused on what he wants to do. Yes, some people waver a little bit, and they maybe know what they want to do. Valdina knows exactly what he wants to do. He sees his goals like targets, and he's running himself into them. And we see that when he fights, he looked so confident and calm in his last fight. And it seems like he's really, really understanding the power that he has in his hands, which isn't something that a lot of big or small guys rather have. The fact that he's at this weight class and able to put hands on people like that is very impressive. But that's another thing said to do that to like an Arthur. Arthur is so good and so tough. You're not going to hurt Arthur, I don't think. I don't think that I could hit him with a baseball bat right now. I don't think he would even budge. He's just a rock. So we're going to see a brutal fight in there. I guarantee it, because neither man is going to back down, right?
Yeah. No, they want it, and they are going to show us how bad they want it.
Definitely. And Valdina coming from Lausanne has such a great backing. The crowd is going to be outstanding. And when that place gets rocking, the 1,500 feels like 10,000. So I guarantee that that fight is going to just be electric for sure.
Yeah. I mean, between that one, Arthur was from here.
Exactly.
And he went 2 years because of the pandemic to make sure that he gets his training. So we're also going to have a big crowd for Arthur here.
Most definitely.
Who? Colbert is next. Hey guys, and we also have some words from the one and only Mike Polver. just like Mike said, make sure to check out CageTitansFC.com at the top right and join the live event stream. That is the only way you're going to be able to enjoy these fights just as much. We're going to be doing it tonight. Now, with that, the co-main event. Joe Peñafiel and Lionel Bugs Young.
Oh man, I have no words. I don't even know. I'm so excited. I'm getting goosebumps right now, actually, just thinking about those two fighting. I just love both guys. I love what they are, who they are. I love that Lionel, the veteran, who's just having this crazy resurgence, just beating the best guys. And then the way that Joe just came up to the East Coast and just snatched up the East Coast like it was nothing. It's just unbelievable. What are you most excited for these two when they crash into each other?
Wow. I mean, it's just interesting. It's hard to really pick and say one thing over the other because they are two different, obviously fighters, two different styles. But one thing that they both have is that they're dedicated and determined to get what they want. I mean, you saw them at the presser. They were basically explaining what they were going to be doing, how they were going to be doing it. But at the end of the presser, you know, they were hugging and showing each other respect because they are fighters. You know, so obviously as a fighter, you have that intensity with your opponent. But once you're off and it's over, you guys are well-respected people. So anything can go because, I mean, even Lionel was saying that he's been training harder, getting to the gym more, you know, and the party was doing the same exact thing. So, I mean, these two fighters know that in order to get that title, they have to fight the best. And right now, these are the two that are on top.
Most definitely. And both of them are experienced gentlemen in their 30s, and they're adults who are fighting because they love it. They're not necessarily these like young lions. They're doing it for kind of another reason. They're doing it because that is who they are. They're fighters, and age is not a thing to them. It's just a number, and they are just here to express themselves and to show everyone watching who the best is, and they are both the best right at this moment. So when they fight each other and we really get to see who they are and which one is better tonight, because ultimately you never really know. A fight is crazy. So, you know, they could fight 10 times. It could go different every time. But tonight we're going to find out who the best is. And it doesn't get better than this.
And it's funny because it's like you have the party who won the award of which award did he win?
Breakout or fight of the year?
Lionel was breakout of the year.
Okay.
And we have the party as fighter of the year and Lionel as the breakthrough of the year. I mean, so we have these two fighters that are really going to throw it down to see, am I going to continue to be the breakthrough, or am I going to be the fighter? Yep.
When does that happen? You know, breakthrough fighter and fighter of the year you would think they'd be in different weight classes maybe, but the fact that they were both able to rise to that level, it was probably a toss-up. It was like, do we give Lionel fighter of the year, or do we give Joe breakthrough? It could have gone to either of them. So the fact, though, that they were both award winners, it was no surprise because they killed it last year. Killed it. So for them to now be in there, and they've hyped it. Joe is just a fantastic hype man. He's great at promoting. He probably should promote in the future. And then Lionel's just been in this game for so long. He does this all really good. He's not just a good fighter. He's a good talker. He's an intelligent guy. He knows what the people want. He does he's got the mask that's terrifying and the music that's terrifying. He gets into this character that is so real and authentic. It's very fun to watch. So it's going to be wild. I don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I know. We also had some great interviews with them.
That's right.
Okay.
So no Lionel interview, but we'll see Joe and hear what he had to say.
Exactly.
So we'll just hear what Lionel had to say as well. Luckily, we got to. Yes, let's see it. Oh, yeah.
I expect in this fight that I'm going to push the party to all types of limits. I'm going to give a lot of offense. I'm going to take him down when I choose. I'm going to be the aggressor. And I don't see it going a full 5 rounds, but if he can make it, man, then he's a survivor. And after this fight, I'm trying to unify the 135 belt in New England. I'm assuming by the time I'm done unifying it, I should clear my record, be even 500, and then we'll see where we go from there.
And just like that, Lionel told us exactly what's going to be happening, how he expects to get this win, what his expectations are, and he's ready. He is ready. I don't even know how to say it. He's just ready. I've seen fighters that are semi there, like they've trained everything and they've done this and they've done that, but they're not mentally completely there. And I mean, this is before the fight. Because usually it takes them up to like the night of the fight, because you're still dealing with so many different obstacles up until then.
Yep.
Personal, mentally, all of that. But there at the presser, at weigh-ins, he was on point and he, worked hard.
Definitely. He's definitely in everything happens for a reason type of mentality. He's just, this is his moment. I saw him at the presser also, and at one point he kind of walked into the empty arena, and I could just see him like living through the moment that he was about to have in a couple of days. And you could just tell that this is like the UFC for him. This is the biggest event. He is so focused and training so hard, and he's had so many years of training, and he really seems like he's kind of like understanding everything in a way that he maybe didn't as a younger man. So and then you have Joe, who's the same type of attitude. He's just, everything is in the universe for a specific reason, and he is just like this perfect part of this beautiful mechanism that's the universe. And to see it, 2 guys like that square off, it's going to be like looking right at God in a way, because they're just so special, these 2, and they're going to fight each other. I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, right now we're looking at the calm before the storm, because when they both walked in there yesterday, they were calm. You knew they had their little signs of aggression, and but they had a lot of respect. Just what happens before we get hit with like a tornado and a hurricane, like everything's nice and calm, and you see that little signs that something's going to be happening. That's exactly what's happening with these 2. So tonight for the co-main event, it's going to be on fire. And like Joe says, lightning, what is it? Thunder.
Yeah.
You can hear thunder, but lightning strikes twice, and he is going to be striking. So this is not a fight you want to miss. I mean, if you need to go to the bathroom, make sure that you go to the bathroom early, because if you miss this, you are going to regret it. You are definitely going to regret this fight.
There are a lot of people that will be tuning in specifically for that fight, for sure. And the fact that we have the pay-per-view, and that people from Florida who are representing or supporting Joe are able to tune in for a small fee. We get to see these incredible fights. I urge people to go online and go to Cage Titans FC and get these fights on that pay-per-view, because it's a special thing. Not every organization is able to set up this pay-per-view. So the fact that Cage Titans is doing it, and the money, the proceeds from that go to the fighters, it's win-win. It's win-win.
Yeah, it is. It's a win-win. And when you see this fight, you are definitely going to see who won and how it happened and why they are where they are in life. Remember, both fighters have been fighting killers, and because of it, that's who they are now. So definitely make sure to tune in, make sure to watch this fight. We also have the main event.
I know we haven't even got there yet.
I know. We have Jacob Bone and we have Joe Giannetti,
which is just such a high-level matchup. This could be on a UFC card, I think, probably, or Bellator, or LFA, a high-level fight organization. So the fact that we have it here, capping off Cage Titans 51 is just a special moment. JoJo, a former training partner of mine, he's just, everybody knows it's snatching nets and cashing checks. So he is here focused on getting this win, moving his career forward, and getting back into the UFC ultimately. But it's going to be potentially a complicated task with a guy like Bone, who's just a veteran and very, very highly technical.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like trying to think. I mean, they're both high level that I feel like it's gonna go all 5 rounds.
Yeah, I think definitely.
I mean, hopefully it doesn't get to that, but I feel like it will go all 5 rounds because of their skill set.
Yeah, that's what happens when 2 high-level people get in there, and then it's not an easy thing to finish a fighter who is incredibly equipped to deal with that type of situation. So both gentlemen are capable of withstanding each other's output, but it's just the smallest little mistake, I think, that could really be the difference. So it's going to be potentially who makes that first mistake, because and nobody's perfect, so we could definitely see a little slip or a little misstep or something. So keep an eye out, because it's with a high level fight like that, it's the tiny little details, as you know, that could change the outcome. Just like a golfer who's swinging a golf club, the smallest little adjustment in the club will send the ball in a different place. And with these 2 fighters, the smallest little detail could really change the course of the fight. So eyes peeled and stay watching.
Yeah, I mean, they have the experience. Now it's just a matter of seeing them in the cage and seeing what they will show us tonight.
JoJo fought with quite a bit of striking last time. Do you think that maybe he'll go back to his grappling ways, or maybe he'll approach the fight from a more striker standpoint?
I feel like he'll be more of a stand-up guy.
Yep.
And if the opportunity arises, then obviously he's going to go and take it.
True.
But he's changed so much, and you can see it physically, mentally. Like he seems like a brand new person. So before it was his ground technique, but now he's been able to dominate both. And that is definitely something to be scared about, because you don't know what he's going to come up with. Before, maybe somebody can come up with a game plan because, hey, you know, he's really good at this. He's been doing this. But now you don't know what he's capable of.
True. Very true.
What about you? What do you think?
I think just like you said, nailed on the head. I feel he's just gonna take it as it comes. He's such a relaxed guy in there. He's always had a very good confidence about him, but kind of like you said, he's really grown into almost like a new JoJo, where he is confident in his skin, he's confident in his skills, and he just wants to display those skills against the best people possible. And Bone is the best person right now that he could be doing that against. Bone, who JoJo referenced, beat the former Cage Titans champion, so he really views Bone as the guy to beat. So it is going to be great to see him strive for something, and then if he is able to be successful, it's going to be wonderful to see.
It is. I think whatever pressure they had mentally, they've let it go, and now they are actually allowing all their skill sets to just flow. And that's why it's so important, you know what I mean, to have the right mindset, because once you get that, everything just falls right into place. And that's what's going to be happening tonight. Everything is going to flow and it's going to fall into place, and as long as they stay focused, they're going to be good.
Absolutely. And we're going to be good. That's for sure. We're going to be extremely lucky to see all these fights happen. We're very, very lucky that we have such a high level promotion that we can be a part of, like Cage Titans. So CageTitansFC.com, right-hand side, stream,
Live
get that pay-per-view. Interviews with our main event fighters.
Fight night, you guys can expect me to do my best. That's honestly just been my only goal ever since I took that time off, just to train and improve. A couple of my fights, wins and losses, I just really didn't do my best. So Saturday night, I'm going to do my best, and I think that when that happens, I'm one of the best fighters in New England, and not many, if any, guys could beat me. So you're going to see the best Joe Giannetti, better than the last time. And after that, who knows? We got a lot of options if I win, and we have a lot of if I lose, we got a lot of changes and stuff and improvements to make. You know, we always have improvements to make. So right now, do my best Saturday night, and then we'll focus on improving and look at our options after that.
What was the comment about?
This fight with Joe is going to be a good fight, tough fight. I only take tough fights. Just going to make me better, you know, more opportunities from this fight. There's, you know, just keep growing, keep getting better, and yeah, going to throw things at me that I've maybe never seen, and I'm going to throw things at him that he's never seen. So, learning opportunities.
2, 3, 5. Hey, did you see those interviews? I mean, Joe Giannetti, you can hear it in his voice, how he is calm and he is focused. That aggression that he used to have before is not there, where now he is able to actually throw down and show everybody what's going to happen tonight for the main event.
When you're training with the best people around or on the planet, even like he is out at AKA and things, that he really has come into that. I think he almost felt like he wasn't quite who he was supposed to be. Like he was supposed to be this UFC guy and Ultimate Fighter finalist. And when he went out and really started doing time with the AKA, it feels like he's really upgraded recently. And it's like he feels like he's really coming in to the fighter that he always knew that he was, but maybe he just needed that little bit of confidence that comes from training with some of the best guys. So yeah, it's super awesome to see JoJo grow and whatnot, because we have been watching him for so long.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Bone also, you know, expressed how he wants to get into the cage and he wants to do, you know, perform and execute everything that he's been training for. He drove in doing a snow first, like as he's driving in, he's dealing with all this inclement weather where it's snowing and then it's raining and then it's ice and then he gets here. But that's what shows, you know, what a fighter is about, because they have to deal with all these pressures. They have to deal with all the stress right before they get to weigh-ins, because even weigh-ins, it's also another situation that can happen that nobody expects.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Until they're done with that, they can't.
Yeah, and the fact that Jacob coming representing his own gym is very important. I feel, you know, he has people that are under him that he trains that are looking up to him, and it just means a lot, I'm sure, for him to be representing his own school and against some of the best fighters that there are. JoJo, highly ranked former Ultimate Fighter finalist and former UFC fighter. So Jacob being able to display his skills against such a high level opponent, I'm sure he's extremely proud, and he's going to, you know, he'll do a fantastic job. This is going to be an excellent fight, to just wonderful cap to a fantastic evening of fights, I think.
Yeah. Yep. And with that, we will be enjoying Cage Titans 51. Again, make sure to sign up for the live event stream, which will be cagetitansfc.com on the top right.
Thank you so much, everybody.